Hi everyone, my name's Landon. I'm the founder and creator of Clevr. Hope everyone's doing really well today, and thank you so much for taking the time to join me on this really special day, which is Clevr's launch day. Today there's going to be a lot of special announcements. I'm going to show off Clevr a little bit, and I'm going to walk you guys through a full demo. There's also going to be some other announcements after the demo, which I'm really excited to share with you. Clevr is an online platform for everyone, regardless of your experience or expertise, to build and use artificial intelligence. It doesn't matter who you are, what your budget is, everyone can log on within minutes and deploy a great artificial intelligence application. So with that, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, now it's time to show off a bit of a demo of Clevr. So as I said, Clevr is an online platform for anyone, regardless of your experience or expertise, to build and use machine learning and artificial intelligence applications within minutes. And right now, I want to give you a short little demo of what to expect today on launch day. So here we go. Right now, what you're looking at is a simple homepage and interface. And this is what all users are welcomed with when they come to Clevr. With Clevr, there's three main products. There's the platform, the developer API, and then there's a host of pre-built apps that are built by our community. So without further ado, right now I'm going to show you the dashboard. Here you can see a suite of things. Your API calls you've used, the sandbox queries that you've used from other people's pre-built apps, and of course the apps that you've actually built. So I think right now it's time to get right into it and show off how to build an app. So right now, we're going to build a simple to use app. And what this app is going to do is going to do one thing simple: recognize if an image is a cat or if it's a dog. It's very simple. It's a common machine learning project. Right now, we're going to do it on the Clevr platform. So here we go. We're going to give our app just a simple title, which is just sample app. And now we're going to add a description. This app can recognize cats and dogs. It's a simple app that most people get started with. Right now I'm not going to add an icon for this app, but normally you could. Now one of the cool things with Clevr is that you can choose what type of app you want to build. It's either fully managed by Clevr or it's a customized app. And with custom apps you can build more robust and different kind of machine learning apps like text generation or question answering. And this is where you can host your own application and then deploy it on the Clevr platform. Right now, we're just going to build a simple Clevr managed app. What I'm going to choose is image classification, and we're going to go to the next step. Now, it's as simple as this. You add a label, you add a little bit of data, and then you upload it to Clevr. It's as simple as that. You don't need to write long code, run servers, start, etc., etc. It's really simple. So all I did was just upload a couple samples of cats and a couple samples of dogs. Now that's one of the coolest things about Clevr, is that you don't need a ton of data to get started with machine learning. And that's thanks to Clevr's breakthrough AI technology, Athena. Athena has allowed developers to build machine learning applications with only a few data samples. In fact, all you need is about 3 to 5 per thing that you're trying to predict. So for example, if you wanted to predict something, let's say in our example, like a cat and a dog, all you would need is 5 examples of a cat and 5 examples of images of dogs. And that's it. All you have to do is upload it, and then you move on to the next steps and then deploy your application. And that's just how simple it is. Moving on to the next step and then deploy your app just like that. It's that simple. And within a couple seconds, you'll be able to use the application you just built. And that's what Clevr is, making machine learning easier for everyone to access. I didn't need a ton of experience to build this, and neither do you. Now what I want to show you is the community that Clevr can provide with pre-built simple machine learning applications. One of the coolest things about Clevr is that once you build your application, you can actually deploy it to our entire community for people to use. This allows people to get more exposure for their projects and also just collaborate together. So what I'm going to show you is a popular application that was actually built by Google. a couple of years ago. It's called BERT, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it stands for Bidirectional Encoder Representation of Transformers. All you need to know is that it's a popular machine learning project in natural language understanding that people have used, including myself. And what I'm going to show you right now is actually a simple question answering app that used by BERT. So here we go. All we do is we just simply find our platform and launch it. Now what I'm going to show you right now is just a simple way to interact with a question answering app. So let's say, for example, Landon Garrison started Clevr in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. True story, by the way. And now we're just going to answer a follow-up question. When did Landon start Clevr? And now, while this is not only what Clevr can do, is just question answering app, this is just a small example of what it can actually do. And this is called the sandbox. And people can log on to Clevr and within minutes find an application that maybe you want to use for your application, or you just want to test out and see the general, how it works, or the general specifications of it. And Clevr makes it very easy for you to just log on very quickly and try it out. In this example, we're just trying out to see how BERT works. So we're going to run a prediction right here. Perfect. As you can see, you get a simple prediction back that answers the question correctly. And this is the kind of community that Clevr builds up. And this is what excites me the most. Now, I know what some people might be thinking, the developers in the audience. How do I integrate this simply with my application? Or how can I use Clevr's technology? And that's what I want to show you right now, which is Clevr's unique and one-of-a-kind developer API. So now, a big functionality for developers is a simple-to-use developer API. You know, one thing when I was starting Clevr that always bothered me was that machine learning APIs were either one of two things: super restricted and didn't work for your exact problem, or number two, were just really complicated and you had to go through a lot of steps, jump through a lot of hoops to just get something working. This is exactly the thought process that went into Clevr. It just works. No matter if you're a web developer, Python developer, it doesn't matter. You can integrate machine learning into your backend in minutes. So without further ado, I'm going to show you right now something called Athena, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, which is a machine learning model built by Clevr that can do some pretty unique things. So what it can do is something called real-time classification. Now, moreover, when you're building machine learning models, typically how it works is this. You have to provide a lot of data, then you have to train it, you have to see if it came out accurate, and this typically takes hours to days, possibly even weeks to do, let alone collecting all the data, 100,000 examples of, let's say, just a cat and a dog. Now this can be really tricky if you're just an individual developer. But what Clevr has with Athena is all you have to do is provide 3 examples of one thing and 3 examples of another thing. Let's say in our example, 3 images of a cat and 3 images of a dog. And that's it. And in real time, it can actually learn your problem and then make a prediction with a new value. It seems like it works like magic and it seems completely unbelievable. But I'm actually going to show you right now is a live API call that you can use. So here's our Python 3 library. And as you can see, we're making a real-time API call to the Athena API. So I have an API key here. And then what it is it's instructing Athena saying, we're going to predict images for this task. But it can also do text too, which is really interesting. So Athena can do both text and image predictions, and even in the same API call. So here we're instructing it that here's a couple examples of cats, and here's a couple examples of dogs. And it's in a list, three example images, and then another 3 example images. And then finally, the last parameter, which is the input value, is basically just saying, here's the new value that we're trying to predict, or here's the new thing that we want a prediction for. So let me run it right here. And we'll wait for the API call and boom, right there. This was under 15, not even 15 seconds. This was under 2 seconds for it to learn the new problem and then make a prediction that it has never seen before. This is truly breakthrough technology that will be available to developers today. Not only that, if you don't always want to provide the examples for Athena to learn a new problem, you can actually save this with something called Athena Layers. And Athena Layers is simply put pre-made machine learning model that you can use for later. So for example, if we wanted to store this exact problem of our cat and dog detector, you could do it for later and you wouldn't have to provide the learning examples for later. That is our developer API in a nutshell. It's simple to use, it makes sense, and most importantly, it's affordable for everyone. And that's what you'll see today. And I'm really excited to show this to developers and everyone else. Alright, I hope you enjoyed those demos. And that's Clevr in a nutshell. What excites me the most about Clevr is that it's going to be put in the hands of many different types of people. Developers, individuals, startup founders, you name it. I truly want machine learning in the hands of as many people as possible, which is why Clevr has made it so easy to build these type of projects. Now, as I alluded to about a week ago or a few months ago, there is a little more news to share with you today. As you can tell, a fundamental theme of today has been one thing, which is democratizing AI for as many people as possible, regardless of who you are. Right now, as I look at Clevr, I can be critical of it, and I can say that while it has made it a lot easier for a lot of people, it hasn't made it easy for absolutely everyone. You know, I think back to different technologies that have come through our time. The start of the internet, the start of the personal computer, and ultimately even just the iPhone. And all these things all had one theme in common, which is making it simple to access technology. One simple thing that I think we can all do and have the ability to do is use our words. Just like I'm doing right now. I'm using my words to convey an idea with you guys. This is the exact kind of thing that I think Clevr needs to incorporate in all machine learning and applications going forward, is using our words. That's why today I want to share with you the future vision of Clevr, and overall, the future vision of computing. I'd like to tell you today a little bit about something called Project Persona. Project Persona, in short, is enabling machines with the ability to have open domain conversation about anything. I don't mean having one command go and the machine being able to say, I don't know, or you asking about the weather. I'm talking about being able to talk about literally anything, just like you would with another person. Now you might be wondering, what is actually the purpose of being able to have a two-way conversation with a computer about things? Well, I'd like to relate an actual application that something like this could be used for. Think about something we're all used to, Microsoft Excel or spreadsheets. Most of us don't know all the functionality that goes into Excel or spreadsheets. We usually have to look it up, find it out, or even ask a friend. But imagine a future where we could actually ask Persona or another type of machine exactly what we want done. Let's say we want to figure out how to align a graph or figure out a function that we're not really sure how it works. And then it could go on your behalf and actually carry out the task. And this is the exact kind of future I see for the future of computing. Now to bring it back to Clevr, imagine this. Instead of using a graphical user interface that you point, click, imagine if you could actually just ask in a sentence, can you build a machine learning model for me that is able to do this, this, and this? Or recognize an image of a cat, dog, and let's say a turtle. Or be able to understand my customer reviews on my website. This is the exact future I see for Clevr, and one that I'm really excited to tell you that we're undertaking. Today, I'd like to call on 3 groups of people: startups, developers, and researchers who would be interested in using Project Persona, which in its current usage is just a conversational model that can talk about anything. But long term, it'll be expanded to more people so they can demo it, integrate it with their applications, and do cutting edge research. Now, one of the concerns with Persona is that it can have a good conversation and it can mimic an actual person. That's why it will be restricted for an application only early on. And I will be honest, not everyone will get access to this technology out of the gate because it has to be vetted very good. But long term, I believe this will be the future way of computing and one I'm really excited about. With that, I thank you so much for joining me on launch day today. It was really exciting, and I'm excited to see what you can build with machine learning. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and I can't wait to see you. Take care.